rinse the brush off, take off the excess, and soften that edge. And we can just manipulate it a bit more. Add some water and soften that edge. Now you will get some edginess because it's going to go into the dips. But if we go back to this, let's go back to, no, you're too, okay, that one is still quite damp there because see how I've lifted it off with my finger. Let's have a look over here. Let's have a look at this one. See how that's going into the dimples of the paper. Now you probably want me to see if I can lift that edge off because that's been dry for quite a few minutes now. I'm not timing this. Let's just see. There you go. Now there is some staining because you've got strong staining colours, but you can soften it if you wanted to soften it. The only thing you have to be careful of when you do this is that you don't damage the surface of the paper. You need quite a strong brush. This is in fact a sable, which are relatively soft brushes. A synthetic one is much firmer. See if I can demonstrate somehow. That's quite firm, although the bristles are longer on that. And certainly if you're using squirrel, they are very, very soft, very, very floppy. So if you're doing some removal like this, it's better to have something a bit stronger. Right, I've put that sable down. I've picked up this cheapio. There we go. Pull the colour out. I want it over here a bit more. And I've got some of my brush so I can redefine that edge. Put some more water on my brush. If you can do something like this, I mean, this is the beginner's apple course, you know, do lots of little balls, squares, whatever you like, and just play with your colours. You'll see which colours are more staining than others. Right, let's look back at that now. See how that is still wet because it's shiny. Hope you can see that in the light. But let's see if we can just soften that out a bit. Another hair. Sorry about the smudge, that's where I pulled the hair out. So while that is still damp, you can mess around with it. Now this is where you might be lifting your colour off if you're overdoing it, and I can see actually fibres of the paper there. So that is still damp. Imagine you've got a bone dry layer of, well, it's your paper, and then you've got a layer of moisture, another layer of moisture, another layer of moisture, and the top layer of moisture is keeping the other ones damp underneath. So it's a whole process that you have to think about, I'm afraid. Right, let's see if we can soften that edge off. I've just damped my brush. I've gone back to the sable, I don't know why. Yes, we can. There's a very helpful chart that I do with my students, and I'll find it somewhere. I think there's a video somewhere. And what you do is you put all your colours onto your paper and test which ones you can lift and which ones you can't. Now that looks a bit of a mess there, doesn't it? Let's see if we can do something to salvage it. apart from that bit on the edge. So I've got some more colour and I'm going on. And we'll see how that goes. Right, let's go up to this one. Got that hair off now. You know, if you've got a time when you want to do some painting but you don't really know what to do, these sort of things are really quite useful. You learn a lot just playing with your paints. Don't get hung up in a finished piece. I do very few finished pieces. That's nice. Rinse my brush off, take the excess off. And just soften that edge. Let's just suck some of that out. Even it out a little bit. Let's tidy up the rim of this one, the circle of it. You've got a really hard edge there, but I just want to make it a bit tidier. So I've picked up more paint and I'm making a smoother edge, and I've got another hair on there. If you use your brush like the tip like this, you're going to get a nicer edge. And look how far down I'm holding it, right on the ferrule. That's so I get plenty of control. Not that you can control watercolour paints, but you can have a go. You certainly can't control cat hairs. Right, I've just got my finger on that so you can see I've disturbed it. So let's just see if I can, yes, tidy it up. So there's always room for repair and sorting out, as long as you know what you're doing. Right, now we're getting some hard edges here. This one was a bit of a nightmare because I wanted to show you what you could do. But it doesn't mean to say that you can't repair it by putting more colour on. Let's get rid of that edge if we can. Going back to that synthetic brush. And if you can't get it off, you can either extend the shape or make that edge darker in comparison to that, because then the eye won't see it because it's drawn by the darker colour. Let's push this out a bit if I can. Drop more colour in. Those are nice marks. Look how the water has pushed the pigment round to the edge. So I hope that helps a bit more. You know, it is just a question of learning and taking time, but you can see now the difference between dabbing out, leaving paper white and dry, because remember it's all about surface tension. Where the paper is dry, the paint won't run. Okay, what else can I show you? Well, let's put a bit more colour on this one down here. But if you can just have a play with your paints, I cannot emphasise that enough. Everybody just wants, I want to paint a picture. And it's going to be wonderful and it'll be on the wall and it'll be marvellous, and like life it isn't always like that, is it? So play, 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 play. edges, drying, lifting off, and all that sort of stuff. Have a go yourself and enjoy your painting, whatever you do.